Right, hello everybody and welcome to round 8 of FRL's Sprint Sunday series. We are here with a maximum grid, 3 tiers, and to join me all the way through, he may be a bit jade-like from Silverstone, but here he is, a Retro Ghost. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well. Once again, roasting myself in the sun all day at Silverstone, watching the cars, watching the drifting, watching all the good stuff. But I've been given a fantastic opportunity to return to commentate over the Super Sprint Sunday Mega Grid 3 tiers tonight. Again, is it, buddy?
It is, that's the one. We're just watching
3
drivers
tiers tonight. Oof.
Just watching drivers exit the pits just now. First one's out.
Is Surf and Tane 215.
215. Now, forgive me, I've forgotten the names of the tiers already. I know we've got Pro, Silver, and they're not often included in this one, so the name has escaped me after 1 week. But those are the drivers that are out first. We've got 30-minute qualifying. They're going to get a 10-minute stint, and then they're going to come in. They're going to make way for the Silver drivers, and then the Pros for the last 10 minutes. So, yeah, it's a very technical track, this one, Retro. And as we watch Surf and Tane go down through the S's on his outlap, I'm just going to bring the drivers up to date. There has been a instruction given to the drivers this evening per the pre-race briefing that in blue flag rules during the Sector 2, the very tight and windy Sector 2, is that you do not have to give way under blue flags in that section unless absolutely safe to do so. So you may see drivers get a bit frustrated as they go through Sector 2, but they have all been warned in regards to blue flag rules through that section, which is good to hear. Last thing we want is somebody making crazy dives or crazy swerves out of the way through that section.
And so having crazy dives on Bathurst gives me a bit of PTSD for when I race it in another league. I think it was the first time I managed to roll a car on ACC. I managed to get the trophy for maximum damage. I think I had about 10 minutes worth of damage. It was insane.
Oh my goodness. But as Surf and Tane goes around Hell's Corner, up the mountain straight, he's going to come over a nice little crest and dive down into Quarry. Not much really to do here other than make sure your car stays in a relatively straight line. Down the hill he goes, no need to lift, these cars have got enough downforce. Let the camber of the corner take you around to the right as he heads up towards a relatively double left. The second part of it is blind on entry, but you do carry a bit of speed through here, through the cutting. As he now rises through the Griffin's Mount, through Reed Park, as he turns left through Frog Hollow and Solomon Park, through the John Hicksman Vista, the Mick Flynn Park, as he flies round to the left to go straight ahead, and then through Skyline and down through the S's.
Yeah, it was through the Big Dipper was where I rolled the car. This technical part that Surf and Tane is just navigating that lovely Ferrari through at the minute.
So I was a relatively fan of this bit. It's this last corner here, the Dipper, which I can never usually get right. I usually find myself somewhere in that Bentley signage.
So it's interesting because it's the Skyline, which is obviously the peak of it. Then you've got the S's, and the Dipper is what really upsets the car. But then trying to get it then back straight again to fire it towards Forest's elbow, it's just very technical.
Yeah, as he now kinks through turn 20 of the chase, and is going to go down to Murray's corner. Not sure what Murray they're referring to there. I'd have assumed Murray Walker, as he's such a legend in commentary, but this is the other side of the world, so I don't know if his name makes it all the way down there.
Well, it's not going to be Andy Murray, is it?
Nah. As Surf and Tane sets off the timing boards with a very respectable 2 minutes 4. Not far behind him, 912, 717. Starting laps. So we'll go on board with them. 912 is Hoek, who has decided to go about driving in the correct session this time around. In the optic white. Oh, as a commentator's curse. maybe in the right section, but he's in the wrong part of the track. That, my friend, is a wall.
As a great TV program once said, "Bring on the wall!"
Bring on the wall.
Speaking of the wall, Colpitts has just set a lap, roughly about a 2:05 is his 9/10 of Serpentine. Jobinho also sets a lap in a very twitchy looking Lamborghini. Oh, as I just saw him go into the wall there. Don't look, buddy. This is going to be what you're going to be doing on Tuesday. Whee!
Oh, don't remind me. If those who aren't familiar with me and Retro, as aside from being commentators, we do also race in Taco Tuesday, and we'll be tackling this with much anticipation later on this coming week in Taco Tuesday. We're going to attempt to do, as we've just seen, really go over the skyline and then really turn his car around.
We've got car number 7, Thacker. Are you going to set that? No, you just started that.
So I've just gone aboard with Heymans, who's just gone over the crest of the Conrad Straight, and he's going to go into the chase with maximum commitment. Mr. Gordon, I did see your time in the practice. Absolutely stonking as we catch Heymans, absolutely cracking the curb of the chase. Coming around Murray's corner. Oh, bit of a abrasiveness over his front tyres there, as Heymans, regardless of that, goes top by half a second of Serpentine. Car number 71, Van der Waal, coming over with all the colours of the rainbow, goes P1, takes another 3/10 off the top of Heymans. Car number 74 is approaching the final bend. Where is he? I think he must have already said the time. Yeah, that would be Colpitts. He's currently 2 seconds down on the pace. He won't be too happy with that. And the Beamer, that forest green Beamer with the yellow and white accents, should be an absolute beast on the straight. But a minor improvement of a 3/10 for Colpitts, no position improvements. Aboard of car 912, we can get some in time. Of Hoek has recovered himself from the wall. Dusted that white car down nicely, not a mark to be seen. Oh, Retro, I'm just getting a bit of feedback over your mic, if you wouldn't mind just correcting that.
2 seconds. Just checking the stream, which is all good. I forgot to start my one, but we're going to roll with it.
So, Hoek's still not valid on his time, so we've gone on board with somebody else. What about Trotman? He's coming to the line. Trotman puts himself P5. We can pick up Heymans once again in the mostly grey with a few accented coloured Ferrari. Comes down the Conrad Straight. Antonori, what's the story? Nice to hear you're catching and keeping up with us all the way from work. Shame you're there too late to be part of the action. Look forward to seeing you back on track very as soon as we can. So Heymans, so again, really struggling to get their nose turned into the Ferrari, but puts it towards the line.
Improve, but not quite enough.
Van der Waal, will he extend even further?
I don't think so. Bit of yellow flags towards the line there. Does he improve? No, he doesn't.
Does not. Our driver's struggling for time around here so far. Last few laps are coming in. Q Robert in the grey and purple Lamborghini takes a bit of the grass on the entry around Murray's corner. Got powerful cars in tow.
Oh, Rodriguez. Smashing Van der Waal's time there.
Shaving
2:02.7.
Or as it looks like Robert has got a bit of a train going on here. They may want to consider what he's doing. As I think that's Colpitts behind that's backed out. It is. Oh, it's a bit of a mess going through the sector 2. 3 cars within about a second of one another. Not much space to be found. But this will be their final lap, final attempt. We're going to go on board with car 7 of Thacker, who's got all the clean air in the world, but not the cleanest of front ends. In the Golf-looking Porsche.
The cars for Silver Tier queuing up at the end of the pit lane, raring to get those engines started.
Oh, I think I just saw someone go straight on. That was Thacker. Triggers in the pits, Van der Waal also returns to pits. And that is qualifying basically over for those. Q Roberts still going. Oh, and that was Bino throwing it into the wall. The Q Robert, I think, is going to finish this lap with Colpitts in tow. But Colpitts, I suspect, is just driving around, going to maybe practice the pit entry. Oh my goodness, what a snap. Definitely took too much speed in there.
So now the camera angle that I had, it was unfortunately he dipped a wheel onto the grass there. So unfortunately he lost control of the car due to dipping a wheel on the muddy stuff, not the tarmac.
We've got number 84, Cablo, who hasn't set a time yet, finishing his lap in the Bentley. Oh, what's he done? Jumps the time on his screen to P8, nearly 3 seconds off the pace. We're going to pick up the first of the silver drivers though, 248, being Kravek. Going so fast the camera can't keep up with him. A lot of drivers going for the some shade of grey this evening, I've noticed.
So maybe it might hide a bit of the damage, as they might unfortunately collect a lot of damage in the Sector 2 tricky part of this circuit. Maybe it does a different shine or a different effect, or saves time in the pits repairing panels if it's grey, it's primered.
So here we are, Kravik starting his lap, comes off the curb, out of Hell's Corner, up the mountain straight. And he goes down the mountain, he's going to find himself in the quarry, banked right-hander, up towards the right. Keeps it nice and tidy. Did see in the practice, he was putting good times in. As he now comes round the cutting. No cutting these corners, they're walled. They might cut you in half though if you don't respect them. Oh, this is a great shot watching him brush past the wall as he comes up through Frog Hollow. And again, super close to the wall as he comes round Jock Hinksman Vista. Now as he dips over Skyline, you've really got to make sure you get your braking right there, as he does absolutely perfectly. This is a stonking lap by Kravik. Super, super impressive. Down the S's, but can he get it stopped in time for the dipper? Yes, he can. Now, Roger, realistically, how much do you give up on time to make sure you make the dipper?
I think for the dipper, it's getting the car turned in, getting the rotation without sacrificing too much engine braking by changing down too many gears, just to find the perfect balance of car rotation and engine speed. But say the dipper and say Forest Elbow, say very tricky corners, but say keeping it in just that higher gear does help, but say just trying to get the momentum through the corner to not lose out too much.
And Kravik's first attempt is 7 tenths off the pace, puts him P4. Other drivers from that tier, we've got Richings in the Mustang, goes P6. Mulnix, who's gone P7. Mr. Revel, who's taken part in other racing today, not quite as much as I thought he had done, so he's already got no excuse. He should be jumping at the time sheet here, the championship leader as it currently stands in the silver tier. if I've got my facts right, was Rogers in the professional-looking Beamer pops himself up into P2. No silver drivers as of yet able to beat the AM drivers. One more with car number 77 is coming towards the line. That's S. Grave. Mustang looking, do you know what, quite controlled, I'd say. More controlled than I usually see that Mustang.
Maybe they took the memo from what we've always said in the debriefing. The brighter the colour, the better or worse the race or the driver. Like we've had the tennis ball yellow from Mr. Gedman himself. G. Brown with the day glow yellow Bentley, who is currently sitting P4 at the minute. He's snuck up the leaderboard there.
He has. And I think there was a gentleman asking if his blue Lamborghini was caught in a crash. I believe it was. You can clip it after the stream has ended if it's something that you're into. We'll say about G Brown here though, because he was boasting about his lap times on entry into the server. So let's see if he can get that 201 down. His initial effort is just inside the 202s, so he's got about a second of improvement to find. As Molnix finally takes the top spot. Oh, as Brown must have been listening, commentators, because he's whacked the dipper in multiple places. And that'll be him returning to the pits with only 3 minutes left to get back out. I'll pick up Rogers though, who's coming round Murray's. As he rumbles that Beamer towards the line, puts himself P2, 3/10 off the pace. For the back, Kravek, currently 4th in class. 6 and a bit tenths off the pace, but looking super committed. I do wonder, oh, as he dips onto the grass before Skyline. He stays in it though. Very admirable.
So without being too frightened to say it, I think I was just about to commend the Bentley on how big the Bentley is and how well it was doing, and then unfortunately G Brown kind of
he put the Bentley in the Bentley wall.
And, yeah, you can't park there, mate.
So Kravik doesn't need much of an improvement here. He can jump up to the second row on the grid with only a few tenths improvement. Vanderwall is less than a tenth in front of him. He's a little bit further to beat Rodriguez and Rogers.
Interesting to see. At the moment as it stands, Rodriguez in P3 has the fastest Sector 1. G Brown in P5 at the minute has fastest Sector 2. But Grafe, all the way down in P9, has the fastest Sector 3 there.
Interesting. Because Kravik doesn't improve. Further back, car 104 of Richings is following Kravik through the mountain straights. So it's really interesting to see just how these big cars behave, because obviously you're getting all the benefit on these really long straights. And then they're just about manoeuvrable enough through this section, which is fast. It's just tight. You do need the grunt to get the traction up the hill. I think the car basically rolls itself down the hill in these things when they get over Skyline.
They put it past the Bentley of rolling. They down the hill, which is such an absolute weapon.
So the Mustang over Skyline now. Very, very strong on the brakes. Later than I'd ever dare to break through there. Richings down the S's. Into the dipper. Probably a little bit deeper than he'd have liked. That's the correct. And away he goes. I wish the game would give me the option as commentators to have the telemetry up. I'd love to see what sort of speed these big barges are getting up to down this back straight as he enters the chase. The big thing in the chase, he might as well be a Mark Lebet. For all you British followers, we'll get that reference. Richings goes over the line and does improve to P10.
So he just jumped on board with Rogers there, just to give you viewers a bit of the juicy. 176, 177 I clocked from the BMW just before braking there. So quite a lot of speed down that back straight.
You've got the time, Richard. I'm sure we'd love to be able to compare that with maybe something like the McLaren or the Ferrari.
So we've got our
as
there.
We did just have somebody go off in the S's. Didn't quite catch who that was. They've returned to pits. But now the pro drivers get to sharpen their teeth and go out for their fast laps.
So I'll try my best here, but say you've got El Prentice in the Lamborghini. I'd say 177 just before braking, but say the Lamborghini is in 160 at the minute, 165. He's got plenty of time there at the minute, now entering the downhill section. 174 from the Lamborghini there.
And what was the Bentley retro?
177.
Ooh, so really not that much difference then. But notably, in an overtaking scenario, that might make the difference.
Yeah, because I think as always you can find against the bigger barges, you'll get in the slipstream to hunt them down, to harpoon your whale of the Bentley barge or the BMW boat, and say as soon as you break out that wind and just try overtake, they're in a complete different league. They just keep pulling and pulling like a train.
So the Lamborghini, which I drive personally, I know it's got a great nose on it. So it's been powerful down the straight so far. I did go quite wide on Hell's Corner. As how it goes up through the cutting. Very, very obedient up through this section is the Lamborghini. I'm sure Retro would say the same thing about his Ferrari.
I can't say much about my Ferrari because I might be painting the walls with it.
Ooh, as I say that, the Lamborghini of El Prentice does just paint the wall himself and then gets over the grass. Still stays committed into Skyline, or the rear end dancing around. As downhill he goes through the S's. Now part of the track I know I dislike. Into the dipper. Wait for him to exit. He gets out well. Don't know how that Lamborghini moves anywhere with a rear wing that big. But
I think a wing like that big on a track like Bathurst is like having a Scalextric. It's just glued to the track.
But we have 14 watchers. Thank you so much, everybody. Please like, subscribe, share as far as you can. It's all very much appreciated. Really serves the Discord and the FRL server well to have us well followed and well supported. So thank you very much for joining in. And El Prentice
just picked up sharp there just before the penultimate corner. Has a bit of a snap there into the wall. So now he loses out on setting a lap. He's got to go repair his damage.
just picking up Clayton in the white-topped, black-bellied Ferrari. He comes through Murray's, as I think we've had a bit of movement at the top. That's M. Grace has taken the fight to Mulnick's. First person in the Pro Tier to beat all those silver tier drivers towards the top. And Clayton, further down, has put himself in P14.
I see a wild Mr. Gedman in the comments. You've got to behave, Greg. Well, what you say about him? He's a good guy.
We absolutely were not saying anything negative whatsoever prior in the stream. So, those who are still going around, car 43, hard to keep track of. The pro drivers have spread themselves far and wide in this session.
So the
Prentice,
closest driver to the finish line now is car number 21, Sweeney, now coming down the back straight.
I believe he's on an outlap.
And
So
that's the game going to destroy my reputation of being a commentator.
Just play it off. You're colourblind. Clearly, you can't see it.
What's colours? I don't see colours.
It's everything in monogram.
Yeah, just like my tone of voice.
But here's Prentice, who's usually right near the sharp end of the grid. Hopefully putting a valid lap time in this time. He got a bit frisky with the wall, heading up the hill. You can watch it on playback.
I mean,
So,
yeah, that can be a great question.
as I'm just making sure that I still have the track map available to me. Oh, is he just
had El Prentice?
Yeah, less than a tenth.
400s. The 400s? Right? Is that wrong?
Yeah, 400ths.
400s. Because my brain's a little bit tired. I say a little bit tired, but quite a bit tired. And I looked at it, I thought I can see the numbers. Like Call of Duty. Mason, what do the numbers mean? I don't know.
As Clayton has just brought himself up to P8, the pro drivers really starting to put in the better times in now. They're starting to populate that top area. No, it's thousands.
Oh, I thought thousands was the very end one.
It is. You're right, Retro. Goes tenths, hundredths, thousandths.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gedman. Yeah.
Is it cancelled? Denied.
There we go. We have a good, honest admin there, willing to own up to his mistakes. That's why you want to join FRL. They're honest people.
I mean,
Hard-working,
that's what he
honest
gets
people.
for just staring at a tennis ball yellow Porsche for continuous races throughout the season. He's just a bit blind from it.
Yeah. He's there in his car singing along to The Weekend. Blinded by the lights.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't be doing that copyright stuff now. So 2 minutes left of his qualifying session before we get cancelled for Greg's audition for Britain's Got Talent.
So Sween coming across the line, and where does he go? Got to go all the way to the top. The first man in the 2:01s. Fantastic time.
El Prentice just behind him now. Can he improve? Yes, he can, but it's not enough. He does swap places with M. Grace.
We've got Jay Prentice not too far behind. He's coming into Murray's corner.
Battle of the Prentices.
Oh, and that's a very... I don't know how you describe that green. Oh, Prentice P1 by 700ths of a second over Sween. Fast times are really coming in. We go back to Clayton, who's coming around Murray's corner now. He gets heavily over the curb. Where's this go? He goes P7. How about Eden?
Oh, 884. What can he do?
No improvement. We've got car 21, who's still got a fair bit of their lap left to do. 37 of Sharp is not setting a lap time, it seems.
Yeah, car 37 I think was blue as he went over the lines. I think he must have been validated. He's just started his push lap now, so we'll try keep a few eyeballs on Sharp as he does have one last final attempt to set a lap in this session.
So I'm still on board with Sween on the main feed as it looks to overturn the 700ths gap that he's currently at deficit to Jay Prentice as he ends the second sector over the crest. He's now going to go through the chase after he goes through this little kink of turn 20. Once you've got the car straight, brake in a straight line. Don't bound over that curb, but you can ride the one on the exit, drift over to the left, Slowly pull yourself over to the right for Murray's corner. And you hit the inside as hard as you dare, and drift out wide as hard as you dare, but get the traction down as hard as you can. Has he gone? Yes, he has gone pole by 0.4 of a second. Car 43 of L. Prentice now comes towards the line. Has he improved? No, he hasn't. What about J. Prentice in the Mustang? As he comes towards Murray's now. Times are tumbling at the top. Power's out in the toothpaste green.
Oof, does improve, but not enough.
0.3.
Car 500, Clayton, what can you do?
As it looks like he bails out. Okay.
Car double it for Eden.
Goes P3. What an improvement!
P3.
Wow. Cost 37. That was Sharp. What does he do? Did he not? Did he get the line?
P7.
He did.
Sharp got
P7.
P7, yeah. And as informed by the blind tennis ball admin, I mean the lovely Gedman, Dazza has a qualifying ban, hence not setting a lap. Which, to be fair, like Monza, I think a qualifying ban on Bathurst isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's just unfortunate if there's a M25 traffic jam, which I probably sat in for about 45 minutes earlier, you can't unfortunately get past the cars that have crashed because there's no room, especially at the top at Skyline.
I've just seen the message from Gedman. No Sharp. Sharp is... I thought, has he done something wrong? The only thing wrong he's done is in racing terms, and that is split Brown and Mulnix. That battle for the lead in Silver Tier is being split up by one of the pro drivers. But you can go in 2x2. You're directly behind him now. Just dive in. This is why God created the inside line.
Do not condone any sort of horrible driving standards. Like your thing at Monza. Don't make me repeat it and get the footage.
Whoa. We don't talk about that league or the fact that I was in the wrong car. I came back on Taco Tuesday and I got...
If you got a problem, change your car.
I came back on Taco Tuesday and I won that tier.
Yeah, only because I didn't do my strategy right.
Yeah. Would have made the world a difference.
No, not really. I'm still taking myself out.
I would like to take this opportunity to plug myself and the fact that I went in early for the dry tyres, even though it was still raining, and drove myself into the dry conditions earlier than anybody else did, and that is how I got my win in class in Taco Tuesday, despite getting beaten by two drivers in the class below.
I was going to make a really good joke then, but it probably could have massively backfired. About how sometimes where if a game's not going your way and you think, oh, it's going really well, you've paid a subscription fee. Well, that's good. You can also plug our Patreon, which is a link on the Discord, like Greg did, so he could win Monza and get the tactical weatherman guidance of pitting 5 laps early in the absolute pouring rain and put dries on.
Absolutely.
So you definitely rub some hands somewhere there, mate.
Absolutely. just to warm up the tyres. No hand of God, just hand on tyre. But here we are. The drivers are now reset onto the grid as they just put up and down as they make slight adjustments, put their fuel in. So we're going to have a 20-minute race 1 and a 40-minute race 2. If you're not already, I see plenty of you watching. If you're a true fan of FRL Super Sprint Sunday or an FRL in general, make sure you like, subscribe, share the stream with people you like, people you hate. Just get it out there. If you'd like to get involved in all the action that goes on in FRL, we don't just do ACC. We do iRacing, we do GT7, we do F1. I believe we do WRC now as well.
Yep.
So yeah, if
G
basically
Brown loves a bit of WRC, he does.
Oh, he does. Basically, FRL's got you covered. You have no excuse. If you do any sim racing whatsoever, you need to do an FRL because we have you covered.
Exactly that. Be there or be square.
Be square.
Well, don't be square.
Don't be square. You
But,
won't roll.
well, that's probably a good thing for Bathurst, but...
You just get to the stop of Skyline and just... Ah! But there you have it. We have five. We have 5 of the pro drivers locking out the top 5 positions, followed by Mulnix, who's first in class, and then further down Rodriguez in P12, locking out the top 3 of his drivers from P12 to P14, the first in their class. We've got 1 minute and 22 seconds left to go, and we're going to get all of these 30 drivers, 29 drivers, out onto the grid, racing round Bathurst. Be quite a long technical. Actually, probably one of the trickiest formation laps on the calendar, I'd say. Can you imagine doing this in a real car? Imagine the game's going to let them accelerate up the hill no matter what. But I reckon in a real car, you could have real trouble if you don't have like a low range going up that hill at like 60.
I'm gonna be honest, I think if I took what I would call my track car, which is probably nothing like a track car, if I tried doing a formation lap around Bathurst, especially round the quarry section, I'd probably roll back down the hill.
20 seconds.
As SRC's Undead, paying homage to Car Revel, who... Where'd he go?
10 seconds.
Can't find him.
He's probably run off to go eat his
Chicken nuggets.
religious chicken nuggets to give him some good luck.
There's Revel, who's sat at the back of his tier in car 666 in P22. And he's going to look to be making movements as we go through. As Sween drags them away, chooses not to go off too fast, unlike Prentice, who dives straight into the lead and will have to slow down as the radar catches him. Practicing his starts early on. The back of the grid, still not quite having pulled away, as we've just seen somebody go straight on. Oh.
I've been disconnected.
As everybody has, it seems. So we're going to try and keep you company whilst this gets reset. We're just going to check Discord.
So just small disclaimer, this is nothing...
Not our fault.
Yeah, this is not our fault. We are just commentators. We get given the tools, myself included the tool, Greg also the tool. We turn up, we commentate. Nothing of this is our doing.
Not, but I can name names and point fingers.
Yeah, G-Portal. So interesting to see whether the order will be restored for the race. Just see if it is back up and running.
So Dazza in the comments has said that qualifying will stand. We have not had.
I mean, quite conveniently, it will stand, even though he's got a qualifying ban.
The perfect man just sat around in the pit lane. He can keep track of everything.
That's it. He's just a second or third set of eyes.
We shall refer to Dazza from this point onwards as Mick Schumacher. That man spends forever in a Mercedes t-shirt, and never gets to drive anything.
Yeah, interesting things happening in F1 at the minute, isn't there?
Very interesting. But for those that unfortunately have to follow the Channel 4 coverage only, we're not going to spoil it for you.
I mean, all I'm going to say is, when they was at Monza, even the safety car couldn't believe that you won it. Your beloved Aston Martin love safety car just couldn't believe it, so it crashed for you.
We're still waiting for server to be reset. So everybody, if this pushes on your evening slightly, if you were trying to get bed for work tomorrow, because Antonori is at work, so maybe this is time for Antonori to actually get some work done, Antonori. So if you're sat at your desk, underneath a car, or whatever you do as a work, get on with it. And we'll wait for the sound of green lights.
Update from Gedman, reset due to server setup incorrectly. Entry list will be reloaded with quali results, so positions will remain the same from quali session. Let's go.
I'm just waiting to try and load back in.
It's always the painful bit, this.
Has the server reappeared for you yet, Retro?
It has not, buddy.
So we will continue to waffle for the time being.
Waffles waffle.
Waffles waffle indeed. So hope everybody's having a good evening so far. If they have watched the F1 race already, hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully not everybody is as saddened as I am with the Man United results earlier on today. It saddened me greatly.
Terrible.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Who'd be a season ticket holder? Not me. I live in Leeds. I have to hide my Man United shirt going into work.
Yeah, well, I'd probably hide a lot of things living in Leeds, mate, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Still no sign of the server yet.
Not just yet. I hope everybody, if you've been disconnected, well, everybody's been disconnected, if you are sat around, make sure you hydrate, maybe turn on a fan, maybe grab yourself a snack, maybe go to the bathroom. You never know. Like, not everybody has a racing seat fit with a bucket in it. I mean,
are you sure we're commentating over sim racing and not Simon Says? Simon Says, have a drink. Simon Says, rob a bank. Wait, what?
Crash. Simon Says, drive straight.
Yeah, I don't need Simon Says for that, mate. I do it myself, thanks.
Anyway, we should be getting ready. Obviously, having to reset a qualifying grid of 20 drivers takes time, but the admins are on it. I can, for those of you who aren't in the Discord and just following along with us for the first time, this isn't the norm. If you'd like to see the norm, subscribe, and you'll see it pop up on your next time you're attending YouTube. And then the next time you watch it, it'll all be working, and it'll be fantastic.
See, the server crashed because you wasn't subscribed.
Yeah,
how do you feel?
Oh, and
all
apparently
these lads just want to get racing, and you didn't subscribe, so the server crashed. Just so ungrateful. How selfish.
I think for pittance, you should sign up to the Patreon.
The server's returned.
Go, go, go.
Just gonna...
say I could have made a cracking joke there with the admins being on it like a car bonnet, a tennis ball yellow bonnet, but nonetheless, we are back in the server.
There's me just doing my very far-fangled way of getting the camera that everybody wants to see.
What broadcast is it?
Yeah, just going to driver and. You know. I've chosen to go away from the helicam because Gordon told me.
Just
to.
cost efficiency, mate. They
Can't always afford to run the helicopter.
unfortunately just need cost efficiency, mate. FRL unfortunately aren't millionaires, so they can't afford the fuel for a helicopter every time you go. Ooh,
or if they are millionaires, they're tight ones.
Meow.
The end result ultimately is there is no helicopter.
It's just a guy in the background making helicopter noises while you go up on the ladder. There's like a toy helicopter with a shadow over the track to make it look bigger than it is.
It's just some guy on a ladder with like some when you turn binoculars the wrong way around and you get the inverted magnification.
Yeah.
The drivers go a bit
kids like the torch, and you used to make like hand signs for like dog or cat or anything like that. There's a guy with like a helicopter one just to get the shadow on the track.
You make it sound like he's trying to summon Batman.
It's like trying to do San Andreas cheat codes.
For those of you that were born later than 2004, cheat codes is what would happen when you didn't have to download mods. You just had to get a printed sheet from online that your mum would have to print off at work.
Pages of codes and sequences, and if you didn't do it right, you had to start again. Oh.
As we've got Grafe and Sween putting on a good show. They go over the mountain straight. Grafe going for a move on the inside. Through he goes. Oh, as they both tangle with the wall. This is just free practice, but the entertainment's still here. And through goes Hamilton. In fact, that was car number 14 who got through there. Let's give them the glory that they deserve. It was Grace. I think it's relevant to call him Hamilton. That is Hamilton's favoured purple. Just to make sure everybody gets in, we have put in a small practice session. Everybody has made it back to the server, so we'll get going in short order. And we can finally bring back professional commentary instead of the waffle that you've had to endure for the last 10 minutes.
Did I hear you mention professional commentary?
Yes!
I mean, we're still waiting for those guys to turn up, right?
Yeah. It's where we both put on an accent and attempt to...
It's like the Top Gear episode when they go to France, isn't it? Where James May speeding is like, if he carries on, he'll be in a cell with Pierre de Berglier.
Aside from Retro's sole French impression there, we will not be attempting any accents for the stream. Gedwin and Brown, we will not attempt it.
I mean, we butcher the pronunciations of names, yet alone butchering accents as well. I don't think the stream could handle that.
Nah, my accents only ever really come out when I've engaged in a game of Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, classic.
For those of you that are too young to have been there for the invention of Cards Against Humanity, your parents may blush if you mention it to them. if you have millennial parents. For context, Cards Against Humanity is only as inappropriate as the people playing it.
Yeah. Cheese is maturer than me. Because there was a few people at the show today I missed out because they started the game before I realised, but there was a people with a massive pack of Cards Against Humanity playing, and I just missed out. I was like, oh, I don't think I've laughed so hard whilst playing a card game.
But we're going to try and make everybody laugh just as hard for a car game.
I mean, if it works this time.
I mean, it was reset for a particular reason. I don't think it actually broke. I think it was
We are checking.
checking. I mean, if checking was all the way down in P9. Oh no, P7, P3. Just completely glazing over Ferraris.
I mean, have you got your eyes in today?
But they're backwards.
You said P7, but it was P6.
Yeah.
You said every position, but it was the next one up.
Busy observing the misfunctions of my brain.
Well, how much time have we got?
1 minute 50 seconds before that brain has to work and I have to look at actual things. As the cars go bit boppity boop, resetting all of their fuel and make sure their setups are correctly inputted. Looks a bit windy out there, Retro. There is a nose wind coming in as they enter the first turn. Don't know if that will play into effect.
Well, interesting to see how much the aero setup on the cars comes into fact to say that nose wind is either going to help the cars or hinder the cars.
Well, it'll actually blow them up the hill, won't it? Because the hill is in the opposite direction to the way... Well, it's in the direction the wind is actually blowing.
No, I wouldn't say it's exactly the same direction, but you might give them a little bit of a breeze. But I wouldn't say it'll be an absolute slipstream.
I'm just hoping they don't get gusts at the top of Skyline.
Well, definitely not, because I think at the top of Skyline, I think sometimes it's quite hidden. Just slightly over the crest or the lip of Skyline, there's a dip in the tarmac, and so if you go in flat out in that dip and then hit the brakes and go into the dip either on the brakes or just off the brakes, it will absolutely catapult your car into the wall. I speak from experience. I'm still paying for the track damage now because I just binned the car so bad.
He is. For all the listeners, he is. He had to take out a payment plan. And
yeah, it did. It was more expensive than the Nürburgring.
And the bailiffs have been round and they have removed Retro's couch and other effects of his house.
Oh, I'll just sleep on my PlayStation to save money for gas and...
Well, it's just heating, isn't it? Yeah.
It does sound like it wants to take off every time I start it, but doesn't every PlayStation, right?
Yeah. The question is, what will take off first, Retro's PlayStation or somebody flying off the top of of Skyline?
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a racer
Revel.
from FRL. Oh, just guilt shaming Mr. Revel there, bless him.
Yeah, he's
As mentioned earlier, he did an absolute sensational charity race earlier. So, 2 races in one day, pretty hard, solid stint of sim racing tonight. But say championship leader, he's still got one more round to contend with. Has he already won the championship by lockout already, or do we know who it is going to go down to Laguna Seca? Because obviously we missed a round due to the Euros, but as we've said every week, we should have just stayed racing really. The Euros is just the Euros, and England are a disappointment. I mean, lovely group of lads really. Same year, every year. It's like Liverpool winning the league, or before they won the league, it was, oh, don't worry lads, next year will be our year.
We said we weren't going to do the accents.
Well, unfortunately I couldn't help myself, because my best mate's, I would say Liverpudlian, but he probably stabbed me for that. He's a bit more Scouse than Liverpool, but he lives in Liverpool, on the outskirts of Liverpool.
What does
Not
that
quite
mean?
Liverpool.
He's a bit more Scouse than Liverpool.
So, because he's an Everton fan as well, you can't call him a Liverpudlian.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, okay.
It's like the running joke, there was a massive shopping centre in Liverpool, and it's called Liverpool 1. Well, Everton then set up a merchandise shop in the same store and called it Everton 2. So obviously the address for the shop is Everton 2, Liverpool 1. Ooh, we've got two cars in the pits. We've got Q Robert and D Townsend, which we know about because he's not sitting qualifying that, but surely you should be raring to go as soon as the lads pass the corner.
But like we said earlier, Retro, I think it's not the worst thing, and this would track in particular, to not be amongst the pack. I mean, I say that, but if there's a pile up in Sector 2, you're not really getting through.
Well, it depends how good your insurance is.
Just if you've only got third-party fire and theft, then you're going to be a bit scuppered at the top of Skyline, aren't you?
Well, exactly, yeah.
This Sween brings them round the chase, as they're now going to get brought in to go 2 by 2. Must admit, you know, with Prentice in the position that he is, I think I would rather be on the outside for this first turn, carrying more speed, and you're then...
I don't think so, because the camber of turn 1, if Sween isn't careful getting on the power, it will naturally spit him out into the path of Prentice, depending on how well either driver gets the launch on the start.
Here we go, they all start to file onto the pit straight, and they're going to get the green lights any moment now. Prentice just dropping back ever so slightly, but who will get the power on the best? Sween, off he goes! Gets immediately a car length ahead of Prentice. How clean does he get ahead? Prentice does well. Clears himself through as we have a Ferrari in the back getting shunted across the first turn. Then closes in, puts a 3 wide. Further back down the field, we're going to stay on board with the leaders for now, who have just broken away fantastically.
Cars off. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Notice that's... Oh, lots of cars in the yellow.
Before
I see amongst those is
made
Clayton.
the quarry.
As we just have to go through the first sector before our timing screens calm down. I believe that was Clayton who was heavily involved. He's back in the pits. 248's also back in the pits. That's Kravek. Other drivers do seem to be able to carry on.
Oh, bit of contact there from Trotman. Was it Trotman, I believe? There's a Porsche and a Bentley, I believe, having a bit of a jostle there.
There's Molnix, who I think was originally...
Ooh. We've got Hokey, who has just spun Mr. Revel at the top of Sector 2 there. I think it was just a bit unfortunate. I think Hokey just unfortunately lost the car, and say Revel was trying to take avoiding action, but he just clipped the back of his car.
And then hit the wall again on the exit. So Sharp has made good progress. Starting P7, now it's P5. Chasing down Eden. Van der Waal also chasing down Rodriguez for the AM win. But he's got Rogers ahead of him, slowing him down. Getting in his way.
The cars in the pits at the minute is Kravek, car 248.
And Graves taking a look at Serfontaine.
Car 246, and that's all I can see for drivers in the pit. Well, Clayton as well, car 500.
Oh, it's further back. Sorry, Retro, we've got Rodriguez in the Ford trying to overtake the McLaren of Van der Waal. It looks like Van der Waal has just edged that one out.
Oh, just slightly behind. We've got more.
Oh, that's a kind of, that is the McLaren of Van der Waal in the wall. But he seems to have got going again.
Oh, this is going to be painful. Naisbitt and Molnix just behind that battle that you witnessed. Naisbitt jumps back to the pits there.
Oh, Naisbitt is in a bad way. And he's back to the pits.
Yeah, Molnix and Naisbitt now back to the pits as they trying to go side by side.
Oh, as that is Brown over on the gravel. He's had to let Grace through in the Porsche. He's managed to regain his car well. Made the best of a bad situation.
It may be bragging rights would say that's not the fight that Brown wants to get tangled with. So as much as it is cool having bragging rights beating a faster tier driver. So the closest fight to Brown is Rogers, who is ever so slightly catching now that he's had a bit of a mistake there.
We've just gone on board with Serfontaine. He's chasing down Heymans for the podium in AM as they go through the kink of the chase, and now that's invited Grafe into the picture. Shows his nose to the inside. Grafe bounds over the curb. Richings behind, has got pressure from Harvey. He might take a look down the outside into Murray's. Switches to the inside. What can he do? Then the brakes. No, can't get it done. Richings looks in a bad way. That's quite a beaten up Mustang. Go back on board with Rodriguez though, who's chasing down Rogers. Camera struggling to keep up. Rodriguez to the outside of Rogers. Into Quarry. Rogers just better on the brakes there. Just a little deep, but that's okay, because the Line S is back. Always have gone board with Grafe, who's just managed to put himself almost up alongside Serfontaine on the exit of the Quarry.
G. Harvey as well. Richling's also on the back of his little four-way train.
Oof, my goodness. Poor Richings playing Who Dares Wins with the wall.
I think given the size of the Mustang, I'd like to think the wall, but you never know with a Mustang.
Oh, as Grafe just have to pull out of the brake, to get heavy on the brakes over Skyline, so not run into the back of Serfontaine. Through the dipper, takes a wider line. I hope this might reward him on the exit. Further up the field, we're going to go to Sharp, who's chasing down Eden, the 4th place.
So
McLaren versus Ferrari.
That battle before, so the mainstream did, but say Sharp has closed the gap quite a lot. Maybe he's got a bit more speed on the straights than Eden. Drive through for car 912. That's Hoke and Colpitts, car 74. Both have drive throughs. So Sharp lining a move up on Eden down the straight. Can he get it done before Quarry?
Off he goes, pulls out to the outside, but then the slipstream just escapes him. He's still there, but I think with the inside line, I think Eden's got this one covered into Quarry. He does. Further up, we've got Prentice pressing on Prentice.
Interesting to see. You've got Grace very close to the back of Sharp now, and G Brown also joining a little train.
So G Brown, who was originally ahead of Grace, let him through as he went over that piece of gravel earlier on 2 laps ago. A little bit further down the grid, we've got Graves still chasing Servantine, as he's very brave staying this close through this section. Braking performances can vary car to car, and you just don't know if you're matching them at your limit.
So
As this trio of
going to try and get a move into the braking point. Well, I think he thought better of it there. He was eyeing it up there.
So he's got the kink to contend with first. Does just look like Eden has got that particular section under wraps. This has invited Grace in. Grace much closer to Sharp now. This is for championship position. They are in the same tier. Brown just surely looking for any scraps off the back of this. He doesn't want to tangle, but he'll take what he can get.
So he needs to be careful. Playing with fire this early on. So he doesn't want to lose any time to Rogers behind him, which is obviously his battle in class. So Rogers at the moment is just 3 seconds behind him. So it looks like Brown's trying to push these boys up the hill in that big Bentley.
Now, is that because Rogers is closing, or is he just getting a little bit impatient?
Well, you
Because
never know.
Eden has started to stretch this gap, not by much, but enough just to give him that little bit of breathing room. And just skipping further down. Oh, as they've just gone forward, and Grafe clattered the wall of John Hicksman Vista. It still seems to be going. What about Gedman behind Townsend? Will look to overtake the driver in the lower tier to him. That man doesn't need to flash to get himself by. His car does that for him. As they go about chasing down Richings in that very, very beaten up Mustang. Yeah, Grace really starting to put the pressure on Sharp. Brown definitely still there, but not pressing the issue, from what I can tell.
I think he's still there just to let them know that he's still there, but obviously just different classes, they have no obligation to let him past. But as I did just see a yellow flag there, Serpentine in the kink going for a bit of a grass there.
Yeah, he's very slow now as he's got other drivers approaching him.
Oof, we've got car 912 okay there, I think also did the same there. Very lucky to rejoin without any collecting cars.
Yeah, we'll go back up to this battle for P4, the battle for P5 really, because Eden has very much checked out of it. They ain't really considered it because we can see him. And just Eden does just seem to be a bit slower as he goes into the downhill section. Other cars behind him just seem a little bit more confident on the brakes.
I think Brown's dropped off ever so slightly, but Rogers has closed half a second to the gap. The last time I saw it was 3 seconds, it's now 2.5.
Absolutely right. Tanzo just looks that much more in control than Richings. It's amazing with the damage to that car that he hasn't got him already. He really picks up the slipstream here as he goes into the chase to the inside of the kink, and he gets that move done. Oh, long before the braking zone. Great move. It's Harvey further behind, super close on Gedman. He's had the breathing room to try and pull away, but he's got that green tennis ball Porsche in his sights. This will move into turn one. He's lining it up, pulls out at the last second. Always Gedman gets all over the exit curb. Will that have slowed him down? We're about to find out. So and now Harvey pulls to the inside of Gedman. He's got his nose ahead for the quarry and slots back in, takes that position from
just
Gedman.
Jump on board with Brown now. I think Grace had a bit of a moment over the curb in. Brown got very close to the back of that Porsche area. Patsy once again pushing that Porsche in the uphill section there.
And with the relief of Grace dropping off behind, Sharp has been super close to Eden now as well. He's closed that gap. So the last sector was 0.3 of a second, but it does look like Eden has stretched that once again. Eden putting him some very, very high quality lap times to keep this train at bay. Gedman staying on Harvey, who is caught right up to Richings, the very ailing Richings, probably the worst looking car on the grid today in terms of damage. Now this is where he was got last time. I think he's got a marginally greater advantage. Oh no, but all the same, Harvey does pull alongside and gets ahead of Richings.
So the fastest lap at the moment for this session is a 2:01.6.
Which is pretty much the pole time that was set. So well done to
so
whoever.
Sween, I think he's just clocked out at the minute.
We have drivers exiting the pits, it seems. Car number 77. What are the battles that are going on? Paying close attention to this battle for P4. As they've stayed so close together for so long. Absolutely riveting stuff. We're closing on 4 minutes remaining. That's basically just 2 laps and plus excess. Hugh Robert seems to be closing on Thacker, but we'll return to that once the timing gets a little bit closer.
Is Sharp made a mistake? Because Grace looks like he's closed quite a bit there.
Certainly looks like a retro good spot. It's the closest that anybody's been to Sharp for a little while.
Ooh, I think something's happened to Eden as he's tumbling down the order. That battered Ferrari there.
What a shame that Eden, who was driving so well for so long. That promotes Brown, Grace and Sharp. But now Grace can sniff a P4. G Brown's quite content. He's built that gap back up to 3 seconds. That was a low of 2.5 a few laps ago. You can see how Grace does it in the slipstream of Sharp, heading down towards the quarry. Two quite evenly paced cars here.
It's very brave to attempt too wide there in that sector. All those couple of corners, as I saw a driver try to go too wide earlier. So it doesn't work, unfortunately. Just where you got to kind of trust yourself and trust the guys that you're racing with to not try to put.
So we've got Gedman being overtaken. Who was that? By Richings of all people. The battered Mustang lives on. Oh wait, no, I saw blue flags. I think maybe that was blue flags that were being let through there.
It might be Grafe in the Mustang. Oh, speaking of Mustang.
Oh, sorry, Retro. I've got G Harvey riding the wall sideways just after Skyline. That was a very dramatic accident and very lucky not to collect anybody else up with him. I was kind of thought of G Harvey. His race is pretty much over now. By the time that car is fixed, the race will be over. But Gedman now getting attacked by Revel. Revel who dips to the inside.
Ooh. I thought that would have been a complete different scenario there. Gedman trying to get. Oh, who's that going off track there? Oh, is that one of the Mustangs? It was. That was Grafe that just completely cut the kink there.
Now Richings diving down the inside. Who's he over?
Yeah, I thought that story from Revel and Gedman could have been completely different.
As these two Mustangs, I'm not even sure, are even fighting over the same piece of track. I think they're blue. There's blue flags involved here, but they're fighting too. That's...
Grafe is the lapped car in that scenario,
and he's just pushed Richings off the track, but that has allowed Revel to benefit from both. And through he goes, Revel, who started down the grid, now to P12, fourth in
P12,
class.
That'll be third in class.
Yeah, now ahead of Richings. Yes, now it's finally updated.
Don't worry, buddy, I got you.
Got some sort of hacks that updates his timing screens faster than mine. Obviously,
so it's internet speeds.
I should have some of the fastest internet speeds. I think that's got anything to do with it. Only the best for FRL. But now we're on the last lap, and we catch Sween just clean the wall after 10 laps of absolute perfection. Prentice leads the Apprentice over the line. M. Grace finally does escape Brown and Rogers. Comes across the line in P4. Brown for Rogers. So winning class for Sween, winning class for Brown, followed by Rogers. Rodriguez winning his class, P7 on track. Sharp does manage to escape. Sort of a standalone performer in P8, but 5th in class. Hyman, 2nd in class, followed by Townsend, who's got Revel all over the back of him. Will there be a cutback? Revel tries to fight to the outside, but McLaren on McLaren. That's not playing well. But Revel, great fight back to P11, 3rd in class. As we catch Sween doing donuts at the side of the track. And Q Robert, who started from the pit lane, a lap down, all the same, finishes P16. With a 6th in class. And Thacker in the Golf Porsche in P17. And most of the drivers. Oh, and Clayton's previously optic white Porsche. Not on the dirtier side, your dentist would have that tooth pulled out.
Well, I think there would have been a fair few teeth pulling after that race, buddy.
Absolutely, but Kravec was clearly trip into the pits at some point because after his earlier shenanigans has found himself back on track and a P25. And that is your final standings for race 1 in FRL's Sprint Sunday, Super Sunday. And whilst your commentators hydrate themselves, you can see the order to the left hand side. So yeah, very, very eventful race. Unfortunately, we can't check on the further back of the grid until Sector 1 has ended. Otherwise, we'd have got the enormous crash that happened about midway in the pack. So at some point this evening, we are due to get the admins joining us to bring further more action from the off-season and the coming season.
It's not that dreaded Brown again, is it?
Yeah, I think
the guy
so.
that when we said in Silverstone, how do you feel your second races are going to go, buddy? Oh, I don't know yet, mate. It's not quite sure yet. And then stuck it on pole for race 2.
I mean, what a guy. So about the only thing that really is changing, I think we are going to be fading into darkness in this second section. So maybe some PSIs go up. Definitely more fuel needs to go in. Some slightly more caution talks into the heads of the drivers. So hopefully we have double the amount of fun in this race that's to come. But now is the fantastic time to mention once again, like, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Share it with all your friends and family, with your friends, your haters, your lovers, and so on. If you want to get involved in the racing, you can join the Discord. One of the admins, I'm sure, if you reach out to them in the comments, will be more than happy to send you a link to the Discord. You can get involved not just in ATC, not just on console, but in PC as well. You can get involved in iRacing, WRC, F1, anything esports related. FRL has got you covered. May I say again, FRL has got you covered. Nowhere else to be but FRL. And obviously, if you are a die-hard FRL member, obviously make sure you sign up to the Patreon. It's £3 a month and you get all sorts of perks like early access into sign-ups for the next season's events, special events, and loads of other goodies. So yeah, all well worth signing up for that. Not just helps you out, but obviously helps the community out a lot as well, which means better stuff for you in the long run, considering it an investment. £3 a month, 10p a day. Run the P to FRL.
I'm not going to finish that sentence. But say, guys, please do check it out if you haven't already. Say, do absolutely smash every button you can for the league. It's absolutely sensational. So you can just hear our lovely voices on a Sunday, because that's what you're here for, really. It's not the racing, it's just you're just here for me and Greg.
Some banter between two mates. I mean,
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, you put up with the Clarkson, Hammond, and May for like 20 years. Like, just some guys trying to have some fun. Watch some cars go around.
No.
I was in Filey the other day up north, and my daughter's recently got into Formula 1 and started wearing some F1 merch. And we went by another gentleman that was also wearing some F1 merch. Considering she's 15, it's So Dave's going "Nyong" as you go past him. She said, "No, I wouldn't dare." And as we went to walk past him, I thought I just quietly went "Nyong," and she was mortified.
It all depends on what the merch was, though. Was it like a team affiliated merch, or?
Yeah, so she was wearing a Red Bull t-shirt, and he was also wearing a Red Bull t-shirt.
Oh, that's all right then. At least she's wearing the proper team then.
Someone from my work was recently caught wearing a Haas F1 t-shirt. Said he said he either won or lost it on a dare to wear. I couldn't quite remember which way around.
I think that's probably punishment enough, really, saying that you like Haas.
Was it a bit more sketchy depending on the accent you say it in?
I mean, you're the one that pointed that out. Don't make this a repeat of the Norderschleife.
Hey, those are your words, not mine.
Exactly.
I just did a little playful giggle.
Which we both know at that point, that's what set it off.
And then we both had to, after the race, go to the admins with our towel between our legs and apologise.
See, it's all your fault. If you hadn't laughed, I probably would have just been none the wiser. I think I realised what I said when I said it, but it was I said it.
Yeah. At that point, you just wanted to go invisible, didn't you?
Yeah. Just do.
You can't just go invisible.
Is it what emus do or something? Where they just bury their head in the sand? Just to
ostriches.
Hide? Same thing.
It's just a shame you're not also the fastest bird in the world.
No, it's more like roadkill when I crash it at Bathurst.
So thank you for all these Dive Hard fans that have been watching us the whole way through. We are going to get back to hardcore racing very, very soon as the flashlights come on.
20 seconds.
As we are going to be plunged into darkness as the race goes on. Where you're going to find me and Retro questioning our existence as commentators as we try to fumble which drivers we're looking at, which corners they're driving around. And then start to question who we're talking to the other end of mic. As Richings seemingly hasn't readied up, and he goes to the pits.
Naughty, naughty.
As so does Robert, as we already know, is serving a qualifying ban. Don't know why that means there's a start from the pit lane, but here we are. So we've got a few miles just to cover at pedestrian pace. The 27 cars that aren't in the pits will go around following Sween in formation as guided by the game. And then you're going to get 40 minutes of FRL's finest sprint Sunday racing around the secondary green hell on the planet. That is Bathurst.
As I like to call it, as my setup says, Bath hurts. Because it hurts.
It really does.
Every time. Mentally, physically, financially, just all of the above.
An apprentice gets all the weaving in that's necessary for warming up the tyres on that Mustang. Now, Sween had the fantastic opportunity last race to just check out at the front, and a little bit of interest from Prentice in the first few corners, which then much dissipated after the first 2 or 3 laps. Must admit, in all truth, I do hope Sween disappears into the distance again, because I'm not going to have to spot that very dark car in the dark conditions. The timing screen may tell you that a car's near him, but I won't see him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. All this technology and time spent developing a game, and yet we can't see who's where until they pass the timing line. Which probably would be a good incentive to kick our lads up the rear bumper to get them to get a wriggle on so they can get to that timing line quicker, so we can give you the absolute fantastic racing content on a Sunday, multi-grid, 3-tier, you name it, we do it.
He'd be mad enough to put 3 tiers of drivers in a in a sprint series. FRL, that's who. We're nuts here, we race proper. Sween just instigating some burnouts. Not much of a chase at this point in the race as we go through the chase at pedestrian speed. It's further back. Looks like Prentice is getting a lot of heat into his tyres. I love this game. It's currently recognising car number 9, the back of the grid, as the leader. As Prentice once again showing his incentive, pulling up like Verstappen in Abu Dhabi 21, nose ahead, questionably legal. And Sween gives him just a little bit of a rev, lets him know, I'm leading this away, not you. I'm in control.
So maybe Prentice has warmed his tyres up just that little bit more to get a better drive at turn 1.
And we are go, go, go! Sween with a good start once again, comes off Prentice nice and early.
Lamborghini of Prentice there. Look very promising.
Oh, Prentice round the outside into P3! Fantastic work immediately
Great
from
little
Prentice.
slingshot there. See if there's any repeats of race 1.
Oh, Prentice, just like race 1, looks to the outside. Stays a bit more committed this time though. Is Sween going to have to give him space? He does. And then I'll come up through the cutting. Is Prentice cutting Sween up? No, let Sween take the outside. But Prentice in the Lamborghini.
I don't know what's worse, the fact they've all made it past the quarry corner this time, but now the fact they're all approaching Skyline.
Skyline in one big group. They might get backed up towards the rear. It looks like Sween just went a little bit defensive there. Not a common thing to do at Skyline, but Prentice with a bit of a wiggle as he comes down from Skyline. Loving this Prentice in an absolute attack mode. He sniffs an opportunity here. But as he escapes the dipper, the Mustang's power gets planted. We can now go a bit further down the grid. Kravek has been quite close to Clayton. Further up, I think that's Sharp in the McLaren. Very close on the back of Munich. But now Grace is under attack. He's going 3 wide at one point. Going into Murray's around the outside. Goes Munich in the Ferrari. Great move. G Brown, very hard to miss Bentley, is getting attacked by Clayton at the inside. They're going to go 3 wide. Clayton thinks better of it. We wait for the cameras to catch up. That's Brown going around the outside of Eden. Brown trying to reposition himself like he did in race 1 amongst the pro drivers. Mulnix is having a great drive at the moment. Keeping Grace behind him. Oh, Mulnix drifting towards the wall. Maximum commitment so early on.
Harvey, Revel, Surf and Tane. Big train there.
Serpentine leading this battle. Revel's just got up the inside and backs out as he enters the corner.
Does think better of it because that could have cost him being on the inside. He'd have drifted out wide in the gravel, which he doesn't want to be.
Now Eden dropping back. We've got Clayton here for interest now. Eden's not going to catch Brown in a straight line. Speaking of Brown, he's all sorts of closing on Sharp. He sees Mulnix ahead and he's like, no, 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 no.
Cheeky bit of flash in there from Revel, but say he's fighting Harvey in class, so he's got no obligation to let him past. Or is Surf and Tane going to move out of the way of Harvey? Oh no, he hits him! He absolutely clarts him.
Oh, and that's
Revel
Clayton going backwards.
Well.
Not like Clayton going backwards.
No, it was Harvey going backwards in the kink there.
Oh,
So
almost
as I
identical
just
looking
said,
cars.
Yeah, so Revel got a free pass there. Did very well to avoid the carnage from Surf and Tane and Harvey there.
Some great battles up and down the grid here.
Oh, we've got a car exiting the pit.
And that's a Lamborghini going slow on the mountain straight. It's a Lamborghini. Who was that?
Jabinho maybe, 109.
No,
Did see him having a bit of a moment there.
No, it's not Jabinho. Unsure.
There can't be that many Lamborghinis.
Hey, we're everywhere. We're like mice. Sharp, a bit of a cork in the bottle for P6 right now. It's not that he's out of touch with Grace, he's just got that many cars that are matching him through the corners. Brown is the first on the scene. If Brown can set this up right, he could have a real shot out of the dipper.
So I think Sharps went a little bit out of shape there, as you say, just mentioned, which did allow Brown just to capitalise so much there.
Here he comes.
Bentley time. No, 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 Bentley.
I think we made enough Batman references for one night.
Don't be a Robin.
Nah, too busy being a Joker.
Wee.
Well, Brown does get covered off by Sharp. As he pulled out the slipstream, he just didn't seem to get the excess of power he was looking for. Crucial corners through here. These exits onto the long straights. The only real chance that the drivers get for an outright overtake. Oh, but Sharp gets all over the grass on the exit. What can that do for Brown? He's
gone fishing. Brown's gone fishing.
He goes over the crest. He's side by side, but he might get muscled out. As he goes into quarry. He's given the space around the outside.
On the brakes there. That cost Brown a lot there, going late on the brakes to try and get the move done.
I've gone a little bit further back to Naisbit. He's showing quite the interest in Kravek as they head up the hill with Rogers following. As Clayton can't over 500, what's gone on with him? He is in the quarry. Someone's going to need to dig him up as he's got going again. Look, that's potentially been turned by another car there. The battle for Brown and Sharp carries on. They seem to have just about dropped Eden at this point. Mulnix has got a good gap to them. You say that, but it'll just look there like Grace making quite the attack on Mornix here. Bumper to bumper stuff. Grace just sways to the inside, thinks better of it. Also doesn't consider it on the brakes into the chase. Almost identical battles going on between Mornix and Grace and Sharp and Brown. But up ahead for the lead, Prentice, not letting Sween get away like he did in the previous race. The gap is only 0.6 of a second.
So it has come down a lot. It was just over 1.5 seconds. So that last lap. So he's definitely pushing that minty Mustang.
Sween doesn't seem too unfazed. It's just the time is coming down. He can still very much act in his defence.
So maybe this is the part where the tyres are just going for a bit of a rough patch. That's why he's just losing a little bit of time there, just whilst they settle down, sort themselves out once again, and he can put the pedal to the metal.
Sween kicking up sparks on the wall. Sween really able to S his entry into Skyline. Brown also showing a similar gap.
I've just picked up Revel, say just at Skyline, but he's got a couple of blue flag cars in front of him. Also has the steward's briefing what these guys are going to do to try not hinder the car behind too much.
Yeah, so for those that weren't here for the start of the stream, whilst the blue flags are in effect, they are being relaxed in the middle sector, as it is considered quite dangerous to let cars by in that section moving so tight and walled. All those cars getting past Van der Sloep, is it? No? Van der Waal.
Where did you go with that?
No, the Van der Sloep, there was Van der Sloep is a tennis player, knocked Alcaraz out of the US Open. For those of you that follow tennis.
No.
No. The only tennis ball accepted in this stream is driving around in a Porsche.
Whee!
There he is. All by himself at the moment. There's my cameras don't seem to want to behave themselves. Grace, once again on the back of Mornix, and I think they do have some lapping traffic ahead of them, which will play into the hands of Grace as Grace goes wall riding. Doesn't seem to lose too much space, but he might have caused a bit of damage. Loses a bit of, yeah, it does that in fact, does lose that bit of speed. So now Mornix, we're hoping the lapping traffic of this pink and black McLaren moves out of the way as soon as they get to the dipper.
Oof.
As he does, as soon as the dipper exits, through they go. Very, very well navigated by Mornix there to not let any cheeky moves be taken on him through the blue flags. Rogers chasing down Naisbitt for P9.
Ooh, with Grace trying to go for a move on the last corner there, just about dips a wheel on the grass there, but does keep it very tidy on the tarmac there.
As lapping traffic does get out of the way before the first turn. It's good to see. Just like Prentice has dropped back from
So I thought we
Swede.
was going to see a repeat of race 1 there. Sharp and Brown once again. So Brown just closing in on Sharp. Ooh, Sharp having a snap there in Quarry, which does allow Brown to close the gap. Ooh, they're going to go side by side. No, Brown backs out of it. Good lad.
Still making himself known. Stops Sharp from taking any sort of swung entry into the next corner.
Yeah, Brown not letting Sharp have any freebies there.
No lap in traffic this time around. That's been well cleared. Further
Ooh,
down
there's a
the
car. Oh, who was that? Was that
car number
Lamborghini?
43.
Prentice. No. Unfortunately, the top of Skyline.
It's easily done. But he's going to have to wait there a long time. If he's listening, he should have a gap in just a moment. He's choosing not to take it out of respect for his competitors. G Brown as close as he's been. Oh my goodness, through the king. And G Brown down the inside into the chase. Oh, as he turns his car, he clips the curb and turns his car.
That would have been
a
a
big move, and then
move.
further back. Who was that? It was one of the Ferraris. That Kravek in reaction to all of it spins his car as well, and then gets overtaken by one of the McLarens.
Townsend was a lapped car in that between Brown and Sharp.
Oh, Brown's really shaky now. Naisbitt in the McLaren behind him. He's got a new interest in this. There's still a blue flag car amongst this battle. But Naisbitt throwing all sorts of shapes at Brown, which then allowed Rogers alongside him momentarily. Closest still is Grace and Molnix. Molnix, who is battling for his lead in the silver tier. Doesn't want Grace disturbing it, but there's a bit of a buffer behind to Sharp and subsequently Brown. Any fight shouldn't be fought too hard. So now Kravek, who lost out with a spin and chase, now is having to try and close down Revel, who is closing down himself on this battle with Rogers, Naisbitt, Brown and Sharp, which you see hopefully ahead. Sharp has just checked out after that half spin with Brown.
So
Naisbitt defends that
Brown
well.
does
As Naisbitt cuts the chase, re-enters the track safe enough, and that's brought him back behind Rogers. Damage limitation there, I guess.
See, we've got.
Oh, sorry,
got
Retro.
past
Brown
him.
is. Oh, so I was lapping traffic. I do apologise.
Yeah, so it's just trying to watch the order and say that lapped car did kind of not make a very quick response to being blue flagged. He did take his time with that.
Sir Fontaine coming off the back of Colpitts with a bit of a challenge in behind him of Harvey and Jabino. All cars looking pretty battered back there in P13 backwards. Well, Colpitts leading this charge, but Sir Fontaine moves to the inside into Quarry. Exactly where he wants to be. Most successful defences into Quarry have been on the inside.
Back of this of Naismith and Rogers, which is good to see.
So all of this is for position in class, apart from the car that's been blue flagged.
So Molnick says checked out at the moment for the silver tier, but say G Brown, Rogers, Naismith and Revel are fighting for the scraps.
Rogers flashing and getting frustrated at the McLaren here. He was not moving out of the way. Finally does.
Oof, did he cost Naismith a bit of time there?
I think so. Revel's now going to have him to his inside.
Is he going to dive him on the inside, or is he getting very close?
Revel has to work a bit harder for that, to get past that blue flag than he would have liked.
I don't understand why the McLaren's pushing that a little bit too hard when he's blue flagged. But I'm sure we might see or hear about it in the incidents. But so if you do want to keep up with the incidents and the action, guys, so please do smash all of the buttons, the likes, the follows, all that good stuff to get all the juicy details of all the Stewards reports and all that good stuff as well.
And if you're circling on the outside of FRL, want to get on the inside, drop us a message in the comments, and a member of the FRL admin will reach out to you and drop you a Discord link. Because we do everything, absolutely everything that your heart could desire in racing.
That's why we're the best.
Better than all the rest. Better than anyone.
You're the best around.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
What a tune that was.
As we break through the halfway barrier of this race, you had some winners and spinners. One of the Prentice brothers has left his brother for dead. You have other battles forming. Looks very much like the silver tier is dominating this one in the top half of the grid. Sween checking out once again by a sustainable margin. My camera has a swing round. Oh, as Rogers gets a bit of a snap, which then sends Naismith over the outside curb. Naismith regroups. Is he going to make a move on Rogers here? Throws his nose in, sends Rogers out wide and over the curb. Naismith still alongside. Rebel's licking his lips. Will he try and loop it through as well? Rogers heavy over the curb again. Naismith gets a snap to the outside. Rebel not considering Naismith's got that one done. But what about Rebel? Rogers compromised. Naismith also compromised. Rebel has got past Rogers. Rogers with the inside. Will he send one? He does not. Rebel is able to close that one off. Rebel taking as much curbs towards the wall as he absolutely dares.
I think that is our closest battle at the moment.
So yeah, we're going to stay on board with this battle for P7, which involves Naismith, Revel and Rogers. Rogers, who's just lost out to both of these cars in the last lap. What can he do to stay with it? Revel, who's come back from starting well outside the top 10, currently finds himself in P8. They're now looking to close in on Brown. Engage him in this battle. Get the pressure on as Brown has very much dropped off the back of Sharp now. So at this point in the race, only halfway through, there's no reason to throw anything brash. It's the last few laps. You've got to get yourself the checkered flag for the checkered flag to count in your results. Oh, as Brown gets a snap
true,
again.
Mate.
Oh, as Naismith gets another huge snap, but then Revel sort of follows him. Bounds off the curb on the outside, both equally compromised on the exit, but Rogers has now dropped a second back off this battle. Revel having regained a lot of speed under braking.
Oof.
Yeah, once again,
He gets thrown into the wall from the curbing there.
he's really staying committed on the exit curbing to the quarry. Just not to risk as much up the hill as Naismith
goes
ahead.
up must come down, mate. But all our drivers' cases, they always pray and hope it will always be in one piece.
Just flicking down to Harvey and Sir Fontaine, who have got themselves within half a second of one another. G. Harvey trying to take P13 off Sir Fontaine. Two cars that look they've very much been in the wars. Probably not too much doing through the tight technical sector 2. But you can set all sorts up as you come through here. You can follow so close still despite the difficulty of this inner section of the track. Oh, as Harvey looks to make... Oh, shows his nose over Skyline. And down the hill they plunge. We're back on board with Revel and Naismith though, because Revel has closed the gap significantly. Thinks about late braking into Hell's Corner. He picks up the slipstream. Doesn't seem to be making quite the impact he wants. Shows his nose again. Now Naismith matching him with the wrist to the wall on the exit of the quarry. Right, trying to flick to the timing screens. They don't. Sometimes the timing screen just lies to me. These guys are so committed. I've not really been keeping track of the gap to Brown, but I can only presume it's coming down with how hard these guys are pushing. So as I said before, we have to wait for another 5 more minutes before the drivers come out, dust the cobwebs off, and come out of this steady stage that they're in. I've just seen that Sween has got the gap up to about 4.5 seconds over his closest challenger apprentice, with Mulnick still with a large gap to these guys. As Revel goes quite deep on the brakes and that costs him on the exit. So yeah guys, this is our closest battle on track and we're going to stay with it until it either concludes or something even closer comes along. Car 109 has been flagged as being in the pits. And that's Gerbino, who was previously running P16. So bad luck for him. It does look like Revel's just backed off for a moment. We regroup his thoughts and oof, as he gets a bit of a snap. Even at 1.3 seconds, still our closest battle on track. As drivers at this point have been taken through a lot of turmoil around this multi-mile green hell. It's great concentration going through here. The driver's visibility is starting to get tested.
Yeah, especially say the top of Skyline as well. See a few dirt and dust clouds as drivers are just dipping a wheel onto the grass, kicking up a bit of dirt like Daniel Ricciardo did in Austria.
Similar gap to this one, Grace is still chasing down Mulnix. Ultimately not massively important for his championship. They're in different classes. And even if he does pass, he's still 14 seconds down from P2. The Rebel has closed up once again, so we return to him. 8 tenths is the gap. A bit of recuperation. Maybe a shift in brake balance.
And once again, Naisbitt is getting a little bit all out of shape there on the exit turn 1.
Yes, still driving quite calm. There's 10 minutes approaches. Oh, further back, P19 and P20, Townsend and Van der Waal battling it out. Townsend, who's been a thorn in the side of all lapping traffic, finally been released from the hell, spits of flame at Van der Waal. I do wonder, in their battle for the AM class, has been affected by Townsend being in all that lapping traffic.
So about pointing fingers, buddy, but I think you might be right. So it's just unfortunately whether we're going to see anything materialise from that, but it's just unfortunately it happens.
Just behind them, I think we've got some more lapping traffic.
Oh, we've got Brown was close up to Sharp quite a lot, half a second.
So, like I said earlier, a few drivers were just biding their time, waiting for tyres to come in, waiting for their rhythm to set in. It's very easy to lose your rhythm when you're sat in the gearbox of a driver for laps on end. The Rebel really seems to have dropped quite far back from Naisbitt here. But Brown goes to the inside of Sharp. He was a few seconds down on Sharp a few laps ago, but now he's overtaking Sharp into the quarry. Textbook move.
Great move from the Bentley there.
Now that next car ahead, the Ford, is out of position. Blue flags were originally not allowed here, but as Brown, I think, tags the wall. And now the lapping traffic looks like he's... Oh my goodness, this is why we weren't allowing it. But this has allowed Naisbitt to get up the inside of Sharp. And Naisbitt has got Sharp, and now Revel's here as well. So yeah, once again, lapping traffic causing chaos through Sector 2.
Oh, who was that? There's a Porsche. Is it a Porsche? I believe it's a Porsche.
242.
Oh no, it's Naisbitt. Naisbitt was in the wall.
So So now lagging behind his battle. He doesn't seem to have minor damage, but huge damage to his battle. As he's only just coming down the straight. Kyle's going into the final turn. So yeah, he's lost out massively. This brings Revel now into third in class.
Yeah, great drive from Kyle at the minute. So started what, P22?
Yeah.
So he's currently P3 in class, P6 overall.
He has now got Sharp, the wounded Sharp, coming behind him now. Be interesting to see if he fights this one. No, with the close battle on track, so we're going to stay on board with this. The Sharp hunts down Revel. McLaren on McLaren. It does look at least that Revel's able to keep a reasonable gap. Not under threat on braking.
So just coming to the last 5 minutes, 30 seconds left of this race. The driver's going to start getting desperate as the clock is ticking.
I'd like to think between the two classes, no need for Sharp or Revel to get desperate, unless Rogers comes to take places away from either of them. Further back, we've got Harvey closing in on the very hard to miss Gedman, even in the dark.
Oh, commentator's curse there. Harvey went on the gravel. Just about kept it clean there.
Oh, but then Gedman also on the grass. Cut Skyline.
Oof,
brings them both back into play.
Big smash into the wall.
Wonder how much that's affected him. Harvey seems to have recovered better of the two. Oh, Gedman gets a snap on it. Harvey gets a snap on exit. No, yeah, Gedman gets a snap on exit.
Someone got a snap on the exit.
It was Gedman. Gedman got a snap on the exit. Harvey closing in. Harvey moving to the inside through the kink of the chase. And that move is done.
So Grace has closed to Brown.
Yeah, once again, two drivers that don't really need to fight. Oh, as Grace takes a bit of a clatter of the wall. Nothing too bad. And then another one. He's lost lots of time there. He's lost about a second there to Brown. Well, Revel's right there. He'll have seen that. Don't know what Grace is suffering with, but he wants to heal up fast. The Rebels really brought that gap down. And Brown is just starting to stretch away from him. Oh, three cars equally spaced. But any small mistake will allow some action. The Sharp has been overtaken by Rogers. Sharp having a torrid time since a few laps ago, where he was leading this pack. Rogers having to defend from Sharp once again. but that Beamer's power up the hill keeps that McLaren at bay. As we enter the last few laps of the race, less than 2 minutes remaining. A lot is still to play for. We've still got 26 drivers still in this race. Apprentice has been bringing that time down to Sween to now 1.7 seconds. That's tumbling down. Is something up with Sween?
I think so.
Apprentice is right there. Could we have a last lap shootout?
Are we going to get final lap warning from race director here? Or is it going to be 2 more laps?
Okay, your leader is on the final
Yeah,
lap
so
now.
final lap.
from...
But Apprentice is just chopping time out of Sween. Wonder what is going on. Sween, who's been in absolute command of this race, now just gifting time away. How committed is he through here? Very conservative. But so is Prentice. So one mistake around here. And Prentice will say thank you very much for a race win.
I'm not sure if Molnix is
it's-
driving without lights on, or whether he's got that much damage, but Molnix is driving around without lights on.
So just there we saw Prentice clattering the wall.
Ooh, who was that? That was Thacker in the Golf Porsche, sideways at the top of Skyline.
Oh, and I
there.
think that's the last chance Prentice is going to get. He gets a slide coming out of the dipper. I don't think there's enough track left for him to make a move unless Munich makes a huge error. Sween comes towards the chase for the last time. Sives through here, avoid the big curb. Oh, Prentice, extra committed, slides through there. But for 2 races in a row, it's going to be Sween who crosses the line victorious with Prentice in tow.
Leader has finished the race.
Taps the wall just for good measure. Well done, Prentice, for a great charge towards the end. Molnix, who has minimal lights on. Another final bend with a lapped car between him and Brown. Molnix brings it over the line to bring a very respectable win for his class. And a P3 on the road. G Brown did well to come to all of that. He didn't have the easiest time. And Kyle, despite his starting position, will come to finish with 3rd place. Leading Rogers, Ian Kravek and Sharp. Despite dropping down all the way to P8 from his early position, that is a podium for the Pro Tier. Naisbitt caught up in the wars a little bit, gave a few positions, but I think can still be proud with his achievements this evening. P9 for him. And we've got Grafe being followed the line by Vandervoort. Here ends the final bend. We've got Harvey, who's kept his Ferrari reasonably clean, but notably had an incident at some point. Gedman, who had incidents earlier on, is going to come to finish his tennis ball yellow Porsche in P12. Now for the win in class for the AM drivers is Sir Fontaine. Well done. We have Cole Pitts bringing it over the line. The 2nd in class. and others finish the lap down. So Townsend, having finished already, gets a P3 in class. As we have just watched the final drivers come over the line, we have Mr. Gordon Brown come to join us.
Hello.
How are you, buddy?
buddy?
You had
How are we?
quite the race.
Eventful.
Yeah, we followed you. We followed you closely. You were well in the mix with the big guns.
Yeah, really good actually. I felt really good. I done the race on Thursday night, and it did not go well. So I'd done a lot of setup work. I just kind of built some understeer into the car, which is weird to say with a Bentley. And it worked. It became a lot more stable than over the mountain. All I had to do was sacrifice 2 or 3 miles per hour on the straight. But
Yeah, we did.
in this
We
car-
clocked that in the qualifying. We were looking at. We assumed the Bentley would have the top speed, and you only had about 3 mile an hour over a Lamborghini. So
Yeah,
we were.
I capped the speed to sort of actually work. It definitely did work, to be honest. It didn't work, however, into turn 1 in race 1. I might have maybe caused a bit of a chain reaction behind me.
Well, we didn't
It
get to
was
cover.
you that caused it.
I might have nudged the back of Milnick's on the way into turn 1.
Oh.
And then somebody else hit him, and then another person hit him, and then he'd lost it going down the straight.
We did see quite a pile up on the map,
Yeah.
but because of the way the timing screens work, pre-sector 1, we couldn't go back to cover it. But nice to hear a bit of a early report on the happenings.
It might have, yeah, I'm probably going to report it myself, to be honest. But, yeah, apart from that, it went quite well. I had no intention of fighting anybody above me. I'm 4 in race 1.
But you managed to get the positions anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Race 2 was a bit different. I really desperately tried to get past Sharp and Grace to chase down Milnick's, but I mean, Sharp. The nature of the McLaren and the Bentley is that I'm fast when they're not, and vice versa. So it was just very frustrating. I eventually went for a move into the chase, and I think I was down the inside, but I hit the curb from the inside.
We caught
Launched me in
it.
front of yeah, you caught it. Cool. I think he may have done really well to stop it being horrific. So
Yeah, he still
played
just
to
just
Sharp.
slightly punted your nose and brought you back round, didn't he?
yeah, he
If I
done well
remember- if I
to
remember
cause any
rightly.
chaos. But yeah, it was good. I had the pace. I was lapping the same pace as Milnick's, but it just wasn't to be in race 2.
I mean, the Ferrari seemed well controlled around here.
I just
But
hope
yeah.
that my Ferrari does the same on Tuesday.
Absolutely, I hope my Lamborghini does better than the rest of the Lamborghinis in this in this evening.
Yeah, Tuesday should be good round here. 80 minutes. No strategy. That'll be a fun one.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Forgot it was 80 minutes. But anyway, speaking of things unbeknownst to the masses, why don't you bring us up to speed with the off season and what's to come post race?
Well, Chris was meant to be coming on. There he is, just in time. Look at that. Chris is going to give you the off-season chat because I have actually had nothing to do with it apart from the Silverstone race.
I know you've been
You've
absolutely
had
useless this
nothing to do with it. I don't believe it.
season. He's just been so useless, it's frightening.
I know. I mean, can you imagine if
He's
somebody
a
was that
danger to
useless?
himself.
If someone's that useless that they set up a server to have a pit stop in a sprint race, you know.
Unbelievable tonight. Unbelievable. But we'll not talk about that. We'll talk about the positive things. So, off-season, let's have a wee look then. There's actually a good few things that have happened in the off-season. Been working hard in the background. So far, we have our... What's it called? Cumbernauld? European Riviera Road Trip. Now, the European Riviera Road Trip starts on September 10th at Monza, and then on to September 17th at Paul Ricard, and then September 24th in Valencia. And that's to keep our Tackle Tuesday guys sort of on their toes, so the races start at 7:30. 15-minute qualifying, and then varying lengths of sort of race, etc. Monza 45, Paul Ricard 60, and a nice big 80-minute finale in Valencia, which should keep them happy and busy.
Ooh.
I'm going to mention the 180 at Silverstone. So this is our off-season sort of endurance event. Teams of 2, Gogs, yeah?
It's advertised as teams of 2, or if you want, I say if you want, it's full up now, but you can brave it and go solo.
Right, I might just get rid of Hutch then and do it solo.
I've probably done more than that in my sleep on Silverstone, I think, to be fair.
Retro considers himself quite the Silverstone veteran. He attends it in the game religiously and in real life consistently.
So
We did
I was up
notice
at
his
4
result.
o'clock. Sorry?
We did notice your result this season.
Yeah, it's the one track I look forward to the entire season. It's like I was up at 4 o'clock this morning, driving to Silverstone. It's 2.5 hours away. That's why I've come back. I'm a little bit like tired, but still just trying to soldier through it.
Listen, thanks for coming in and doing comms tonight then. Can I just mention your
Yeah.
comms this season, guys, has been for absolutely frighteningly good.
He's not
it's
watched
been a
this
bit
one
of
yet, has he?
I'm
Yeah,
watching
hang on,
it to see
can
what
we
you
just
said
edit
about
that
me
bit
right
out?
At the start. I'm going to go and see what you said about me before I get in. No, so I'll just plug the last off-season as well. Now this is a first of its kind for the console side. I decided we've got a little bit of an overflow. So it's called Change It Up mini-series with cash prizes for the winners. And it's going to be split over 2 tiers of 20 drivers in each tier. So first, second and third place will get cash prizes for winning. It's 3 small races. The first one you start on an M2 in Brands Hatch. Then we go to Zolder in a GT4 car of your choice. And then a finale at Green Hell in the dark. 80 minutes. And it's a Thursday night, late night, to keep all of our late nighters kind of happy as well. So this is a little bit of a first with the cash prize thing, because we've never really been in a position. But our patrons have been doing absolute wonders in the background by contributing to the server, and in doing so we've got lots and lots of money to obviously put back to the drivers. So get involved, guys. There's 40 spaces up for grabs.
So there you are, guys. All those ones that are listening that said that we definitely told you the league loves to give back. So there you are, straight from the horse's mouth.
You calling me a horse?
No, it's just an expression.
I mean,
Only in parts.
thanks for getting
Only in some
cancelled.
parts.
Oh,
That's it, we're not coming back next season now. Thanks, Greg.
Oh, we dance on the edge of being cancelled every week.
listen,
You
that's
might,
what
I
keeps
might
the
not.
viewers coming in.
Borderline controversial is the balance you want. That's where you want to be. On the cusp.
Well, Retro's mid-session commentary of Nord's life nearly got us
I'll give it
cancelled.
a rest.
I think that's the closest we've got.
So that's the off-season, guys. A massive thank you again to round off a fantastic kind of season. We've got one more race to go because there was a little bit of a hiccup in race day 2 at Laguna, wasn't there?
Yeah, I
chasing
say
the
it
ball.
every week. We did the break for Laguna, didn't we, for the Euros? And to be honest, it wasn't worth the break. I'd rather have just done the commentating because we've been had a heck of a time.
Packed up on us.
No, we did a week break for the Euros because England got as far as they did and flopped.
Ah,
Go, go, go.
well, do you know what?
Know your audience.
Yes. That's what it is. Well, it just means we've got quite a thriller, actually, a double header at Laguna Seca. Who knows what the weather's going to be like in Texas at this time of year, so it could be a little bit of a mixed hodgepodge. I'm not there, I'm down in Donington myself. I'm down watching the GT3 at Donington next weekend.
Whee.
So I'll be a bit gutted, and I'm not putting that off. But again, it's been great, guys.
Thank you for having us.
100%. If you are, you can talk to me after the season. If you are kind of happy to continue, we can get things going again.
Yeah, we'll draw up the contracts.
Excellent. So I'll leave you to it. I'll let you tie off your broadcast.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for giving everybody all the information that they've been longing to hear. And we'll
That's fine. I've got
we'll
one
sign
more
off
plug.
on to the next one.
One
more
very
plug.
quick. One very quick more plug is just to say, season 15 for Super Sprint Sunday will be live to Discord members in the next couple of minutes. So you can go and sign up now.
Excellent. Right, catches, boys. Thanks again for tonight.
See you guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Again,
Thanks for
you've been
joining.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
So there you have, everybody, all that lovely, juicy information from the admins there. You've got so much to look forward to in the off-season, varying race lengths in Taco Tuesday, and obviously new sign-ups for Sprint Sunday. Well worth being a patron at this moment in time. We should get early entry into that. And obviously we've had a fantastic set of races this evening, race 1 and race 2, bringing lots of action, fantastic wins, repeat wins for Sween and others down the grid. So I've thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I think we will look forward to joining you again come the next season. So we'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.
Yeah, take it easy, boys.